IO, I wanted to forensic and sports psychology. There are so many fields, so it's very much confusing which way to go. So I hope I'll get some insights today from this session, and
Sure.
I'm hopeful everybody else will also have some positive feedback today. So
Thank you for sharing, and I wish you the best for the exam that is coming up.
thank
Um,
you so much.
Nandita has also mentioned in the chat she's pursuing masters in clinical psychology and she wants to be a DMT, dance movement therapist. That's quite inspiring to see. I assume that you are a dancer.
Yes, yes. I'm a
Yeah,
dancer. Like I am
yeah,
doing certification of classical dance, Kathak. So
amazing.
I
Your voice
want
a
to.
little low, Nandita.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah, you're
Hello.
audible.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I am doing certification of Kathak, the classical dance, and I always wanted to do something in psychology and dance. So I found about this dance movement therapy.
Okay.
So I want to
Um,
do 1 year PG diploma in dance movement therapy after that.
I hope the audience was able to hear you because it could not. Yeah, you can again type it in the chat box as well. Um, yeah, and anyone who wants to go, Shreya, you can go next. Yes.
Hello, everyone. I've done my master's in clinical psychology. After that, I did my dance movement therapy facilitation. Um, Dance was part of life while growing up, but I guess learning it through somatic lens has changed the whole healing process. I was always like, I first of all went into therapy myself, so I guess that really changed a lot of things. And I was in it for almost 5 to 6 years, on off, you can say. And then the body movement just changed the whole healing process for me also in general, and that experience just made me feel that I want to keep creating more spaces where I can meet uh, people, I can share the same experience, and the connection with body is profound. It's even before breath. We have been moving in our mother's womb, right? So it's amazing how the experience stays in your body and how you get to express it in a non-verbal way. So something about that I'll say that I'm very passionate about while moving forward. However, along the lines of exploring different aspects as to Indian psychology, transcendental psychology, and much more
Okay.
around it. So I don't know how this is gonna go around that, but I believe, I guess I'll just get an idea as to maybe how to choose something for yourself, like a niche or that processing. What do you
Right.
not want to do, maybe, and then what do you want to do? Going to that lineup. So I'm excited to be part of this. Thank you so much for creating the space, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. And I completely agree with the part that there is absolute 100% mind body connection that works out, and it is very much needed to process in the counseling therapy setup. Okay, I'll just read it out. Anusha's response: looking to pursue MPhil this year. Nice. I want to get my license, and similar to others, I am also interested in several specializations. So still trying to figure that part out. Yeah, I think there would be a lot of specialization topics that everybody will be interested into, but eventually you start exploring one or the other topic, you find your rhythm, which one resonates more with you. Yeah. Sri is saying want to work with elderly folks, geriatric care. You're talking about? I think so. Yeah. Are there any more responses? Sneha, you wanted to speak, I think. You can just unmute and share.
Yeah, I'm doing my master's in psychology from Savitribai Phule Pune
Okay,
University,
that's fine.
and I'm in my first year right now.
Okay,
Uh, I had a talk with Ishita ma'am before regarding
Okay.
internships and all. Yeah.
Sure.
So what are my career aspirations? I I have been to therapy before and it did not work out for me. And I even went to a
Mm-hmm.
psychiatrist back in Kolkata. I'm from Kolkata and I'm new to Pune.
Mm-hmm.
And the psychiatrist legit asked me to study my books
Okay.
because it was like a government hospital and like I had what basic anxiety and it was not as superior as schizophrenia or something, and
Mm-hmm.
how there's a hierarchy of mental disorders in
Yeah.
our own in the mental health field, right? So and like since I was a student, the entire conversation of mental health was very difficult in my family, and then going out for therapy, and the therapist wasn't actually that nice because
Mm-hmm.
she wasn't nice honestly, and she you would practice CBT, but that felt like reverse gaslighting because it was definitely not doing anything about my situation, right? You
Right.
cannot make me feel good about my situation using CBT and tell me to process it differently. So, my career aspiration is like to do something that would actually work for people, to make mental health
Mm-hmm.
accessible.
Yeah.
And I don't just want to profit out of
Yeah.
people's problems,
Mm-hmm.
right? I want to
Mm-hmm.
work in a way that would help prevent it at the
Yeah.
first place.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where I'd go with it, but that is the entire motive.
Yeah.
And I am also here because I am kind of new to Pune and I've been struggling with making friends and connections, and
Right.
not I don't want to make surface level connections, so just to meet new people who have same goals.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. Community support is very much needed for all of us. So I get that notion. And I absolutely praise this one aspect that where you said that you would like to be selfless and be helpful to other people. That's a very thoughtful of you. I'll just read out two, three more responses that are coming up in the chat, and we'll move ahead to uh, the first question for this session. So, Aarti saying, okay, 1 minute. Yeah, Aarti saying that she's a lecturer teaching law and management subjects to CA and CS. Students pursuing MA psychology from IGNU would like to counsel teenagers and young professionals stress management. Yes. Sampriti saying that she has done her master's in clinical psychology from Mumbai University and MSc from University of Britain. I can't pronounce that properly. Currently exploring various options to start with, but I would like if I can contribute to make therapy accessible and affordable. That's yes, Sampriti. You're going in the right direction. Anuya is saying, I'm willing to start my practice child counseling, but currently I'm pursuing MA clinical psychology semester 2. Yes, Anuya. Yeah, that's why, that's what for what we are here for. I've experienced as a school counselor for 2 years. That's great to hear. Thank you everyone for sharing and opening up about your career aspirations so freely. I'll go to the next question, which is for our facilitators today. I would like to ask this question to uh, Ishita to elaborate on how does a helpline counseling looks like, because all of you shared your aspirations, but I see that nobody's talked about helpline counseling. So I would like Ishita to elaborate on how does a career in mental health helpline counseling looks like.
Thank you so much, Shubham, for the warm welcome as well. Very, very excited to be here today. And thank you so much. Like, I've been seeing the responses in the chat, and um, I see that a lot of you are sharing very vulnerably. Thank you so much, Sneha and Shreya, also for sharing your experience with therapy yourself and such diverse interests with regards to sort of movement therapy. Very, very interesting sort of interests that you all have. So, yeah, really looking forward to interacting with you all. But also moving towards the question with regards to helpline counseling. Before I myself started working at a helpline, I think that a lot of people believe that you can call the helpline only once, and that's the only support that you can get. But I do also want to elaborate on the fact that a helpline is a space where callers and people can access helpline service multiple times. It honestly works just as any regular counseling session does, except the only difference I think with on a helpline setup and a counseling setup is that on a helpline, you can't really see the person, so you're able to hear them. So I think you have to really be attentive on call and communicate empathy via your on call presence. That's, I think, how it's a little different than an in person counseling sessions. Um, I think along with that, helplines also can be sometimes very population specific as well. So we can see that there are different types of helplines. There are peer affirmative helplines, or there are crisis helplines. There can be some helplines that are youth related as well. And you also see general helplines. So when we say general helplines, it's also helplines that are the service is open to anybody and everybody. So I think this is just a little bit about, I think, the different kind of helplines that we see in India. I think with regards to why a helpline setup or a helpline space is really important is because I think most helplines operate out of the ethos that they're sort of created so that we bridge this affordability and accessibility gap, because otherwise a counseling session ranges anywhere from 500 to 2000 rupees, which I think a lot of people in India cannot afford, or may not necessarily see the value in spending money for that as well. And I think a lot of people don't access counseling, in person counseling spaces specifically, is also that there's a lot of stigma attached to it. So if you're staying in a city or a space where you know a lot of people, there can also be this fear of other people seeing you about reaching out for help. So I think there's a lot of uh, stigma attached to seeking help in person as well. I think what helplines allow is that helpline gives people the space to also venture into a counseling space with the comfort of their safe space. So I can be calling a helpline from, let's say, my room and be speaking about my mental health concerns. And that also sometimes I think a counseling session, when it's in person or even online, I think you feel really jittery. Like that's been my personal experience as well. Sometimes counseling or therapy can seem very overwhelming. So the in-person bit or seeing someone can feel quite jarring. But I think helplines also allow for you to be like yourself or not have that uh, contact, like the in-person contact. So you'd only be speaking on a call. So sometimes that can be very comforting for people. I think that's another way that helplines are quite accessible. Sometimes there are also long, whenever you are approaching, let's say, a therapist or a counselor, there can also be a waiting period uh, for getting into counseling. So sometimes helplines help bridge that gap as well. So you can call a helpline at any time, especially in situations or experiences where you are in a crisis experience or in a crisis situation. You can just pick up the call and call the helpline. So there's not the hassle of sort of waiting for an appointment. So I think these are a few spaces where helplines can be really, I think, accessible. They can be really affordable. It cuts down on traveling cost as well. So I think here are a few things where we'd sort of, I think helplines play a very, very important role in sort of mitigating crisis, in also dealing with daily life stressors as well. Yeah, I think that's a little bit to answer your first question. I know it's a lot of information, but yeah.
Could you just share a light more on the cultural aspect that you mentioned? Like any example that you could give?
Um, I feel like so I will use the experience that I have, and so working at Mukta Mental Health Helpline, one of our ethos is to make sort of mental health and mental well-being affordable and accessible. That also means using culturally relevant support. um, when I mean culturally relevant support, it can be, if I were to give an example, if when we're speaking, when women callers also call, and a lot of the times women don't prioritize, let's say, their health, whether that be physical or mental. So, and because there is not an age range on our helpline, so anyone can call the helpline. We use culturally specific well-being care practices, in the sense, if there's someone that feels like they can go to a bhajan mandal and feel like at they can feel lighter or they can feel at peace, then that's something that we ask folks or women to do. If women want to access Bishi, Bishi is, so in Marathi you call it Bishi, in English I think you'd call it a kitty party, if I'm not mistaken, to access these spaces so that they find a sense of support and community with other women. I think these are one or two examples of how we also make care that make mental health care quite culturally relevant.
Thank you so much, Ishita, for such a detailed, yet in simple words, you were able to let us know. I'll move on to second question for the day. In my own experience working with a helpline as a counselor since over a year, but till this point, when I go to like people around in the field or like even in my social spaces, when I say that I'm a helpline counselor, the reaction that I get is it seems that I'm not doing a valuable work. And it comes, I think it's coming from the fact that people consider that in person is more in-person counseling is more real in traditional way. And so I would like to ask Dipali ma'am, would you be able to elaborate more on what is the difference between telephonic counseling and in-person counseling, how it is different, and what are like pros and cons in a way?
Sure. Am I audible? Yeah. Okay. Uh, yeah. So helpline counseling not being so real as compared to traditional counseling. Um, I think while there are differences between traditional and helpline counseling, uh, we definitely cannot dismiss helpline counseling as being not real or not so professional, because I would say helpline counseling is undeniably a real and professional experience. On helplines, we get to, first of all, we get to deal with diverse sort of population in terms of age group, maybe. Then, like, it's like even at Mukta, we cater to the population, like age range from 15 years to those who are in their 80s as well. So so we get to know challenges from different age groups. We also uh, get diverse sort of concerns. So at helplines, counselors deal with they deal with right from crisis situations, providing immediate support in crisis situations, to dealing with day-to-day stressors, from dealing with grief and loss or sensitive issues like even sexual and reproductive health related concerns, to dealing with trauma and other maybe diagnosed mental health conditions, dealing with relationship related issues. to dealing with self-image and body image related concerns. So there are like a variety of concerns that people come up with, and we also get calls from people belonging to different economic and social backgrounds. So people from rural areas, people from busties, people from urban setups, and everything in between as well. So as well as those who are socially and economically uh, from marginalized communities, maybe. Um, Also people who are going through social injustices, and they want to talk about that, and they want to talk about the impact these injustices are having on their mental well-being. So it is like traditional therapy or traditional in-person counseling rarely gives you this opportunity of dealing with different concerns at a time, because there usually you have your niche already developed, and you are working for a particular with a particular population. uh, you are uh, you have some mastery over some of the concerns, but this is not the case with helpline setups. So I would say those who are like those who are freshers, or those who are uh, early career professionals maybe in the field of mental health, I think helpline setups are excellent training grounds for them, because of this diversity. Um, I would also say that it is real and professional because most of the helplines, including Mukta, provides structured 40-45 minutes of counseling sessions to all the callers, like it happens in traditional counseling setups. And there are follow-up callers, as Ishita also mentioned, that people can call us multiple times. There are goals that are set, counseling goals, even session goals at times. And it is like everything that happens in traditional counseling is usually tried to translate into those who are specifically about like body movement related interventions maybe, or certain interventions that are more therapeutic in nature. um, Another unique thing about helplines is have limitations in terms of connecting their clients with um, larger support systems. But at helplines or even at Mukta, we usually try to connect our clients to different spaces apart from the talk intervention that we are providing. So it can be like on ground support, it can be shelters, it can be livelihood related programs maybe, or vocational training, different sorts of these support systems that are working on ground. So networking, providing referrals, and helping them connect with the accessible support systems around them is another important feature of any helpline, I would say. Um, I think the main difference between the two, I mean, between the traditional and helpline setup is that there is a huge focus on therapeutic alliance in traditional counseling, which is perhaps not there in helpline counseling much, because um, like helpline counseling is sometimes very brief and for limited period of time. So there may not be a long and deeper sort of therapeutic alliance with the clients. But and as Ishita also mentioned, that it happens on phone, so there are not much body language related or visual cues that are present to us, to counselors. But I would still say that those who are passionate about working in the field of like social sector, working with communities, I think helpline counseling is a very rewarding experience for us, for you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dipali ma'am, for such a detailed information on this. I think it does clarify what is the difference between both of it, and We will definitely take questions if there are from audience towards the end of it regarding this. I'll just move on to our next in agenda, that is, which is the last point of this session. Uh, we have launched Mukta's Master, which is also an accelerator program in nature, which is designed specifically for psychology master students who are in their second year and who have just uh, done their post graduation and looking to test the water in the field. So, like when I did my masters, I was like, I just know theories. I don't have practical knowledge. I don't have a mentor who would like handhold, give me mock practicals or something like that. And we all struggle to go through internships and everything, and still don't feel confident enough to actually start a real session. So I would request Ishita to run us through the overview of the program.
Absolutely. I also very much resonate with what Shubham mentioned, which is why I think we've also launched the master's program. I think with a lot of intention, as well, a lot of energy. A lot of time has gone into it, thinking in a way as to what would make it, a very learning and holistic sort of learning journey for participants that attend this program. So I think I'll go a little into, let's say, the training topics and the structure of the program. Of course, if any of you have any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat box already, and we'll definitely answer that towards the end of the session so that no question sort of gets missed out. Um, so the some of the topics that we'd be covering in the master's program would be very much reliant on counseling skills. So these topics include attending skills, how to sort of convey empathy, questioning skills with clients, how to build a counseling relationship with clients. This is something that we'll be covering in the master's program. And along with that, I think sometimes, like Shubham mentioned as well, when you've just finished, let's say, any sort of academic journey, there's a lot of theoretical knowledge that we have, but how to translate that into practice, I think something that has helped me personally is also working with a team and working with supervisors. So even in the master's program, we will be focusing on supervised mock counseling sessions, which will add in an element of it being hands-on. So you'll get hands-on training, hands-on practical experience. So this is just a little bit about the counseling skills. We'll also be delving into the different counseling approaches, person-centered approach, CBT, ACT. We'll also be looking into narrative practices a little bit, but the way that we'll also be engaging with these topics is that there'll be a lot of pre-reading and post-reading, and we'll bring in a lot of helpline sort of experience into this as well. We'll bring in a lot of diverse concerns into the training sessions as well, and how can different approaches help us navigate these concerns is something that we'll be having team discussions, group discussions over. So we'll be looking into counseling skills, counseling approaches. Along with that, to also make it a package deal, we also have need of the hour affirmative practices. So the affirmative practices, the training sessions that we'll be having are QACP, queer affirmative counseling sessions, sex affirmative sessions, so neurodiversity as well. We'll also be delving into trauma informed um, sort of approaches and practices, and anti-caste practices as well. So the reason for also adding in affirmative practices is also that it would help build uh, the participants' perspectives, and it would also help participants deal with mental health concerns in a holistic manner, whether you'd be starting your own private practice or whether you'd be getting into the social sector. It would just give, I think, a perspective. So that's why we've devised the program in this manner. So this is just a little bit about the topics that we have. to also maybe get into the logistical part of it. The trainings, we're hoping for the master's program to start in the last week of May. So we're looking for 26th May to be the starting day for the program, and we'd be having these training sessions from Monday to Friday from 12 to 6 p.m. So that's a little bit about the timings for the program. And the thing that also helps make the program a little different is that it's not necessarily, let's say, a mundane training. And I say that very consciously because the sessions will be focusing a lot on reflective activities. It will be focusing on mock sessions. There'll be a sort of a resource bank that will be shared with you all. So these are just some of the, um, I think, some of the perks of enrolling in the program. And the program would be a 5 week program as well. So from 26, we're hoping for it to end in June, or the first week of July. That's how we're hoping for the program to run. Um, the program will also help, sort of the participants from the program will get a letter of recommendation. They will also get a certificate. But one really key highlight that I would really, really like to emphasize on is that there is also a potential hiring opportunity for participants. So the way that the hiring opportunity would also work is that you would have to be in your second year of masters, and the 5 weeks of trainings would give us as well as you a chance to get to know each other, and it would help us and the participants also understand if helpline counseling is a path that they would like to take as a career option. So after the 5 weeks of training, we will also be having an interview with participants that are interested to work as a mental health counselor on the helpline. So this is something that I really want to highlight on. Um, at the moment, we're expecting for the cohort to be around 15 students. And we've gotten diverse range of sort of applicants as well. There are a lot of applicants that are from their first year of masters. So who are just getting done with the first year and will be going to the second year. So we have gotten participants from that, I think, educational bracket as well. One thing that again I would like to mention is that if you are going into your second year and you feel like again this is something that aligns with your values, that aligns with your ethos, and you would still like to work, but you still have that 1 year left to complete your degree, we are also going to be, like, if participants are interested, we'll also be drawing out contracts. So after you finish your degree, after a year, there will be an opportunity for you to work at Mukta Mental Health Helpline as a counselor. So this is something that I really wanted to highlight, is one real advantage of joining in to the program. But if I do understand that everybody might not want to pursue or work in the helpline domain, which is also completely fine. I feel like the program in itself would uh, like give participants also various perspectives. But if there are any students or any participants that would want to work in the social sector, we'd also be very willing to give your recommendations of other organizations that work in Pune that you might want to work with. So there's that option that is available as well. We'd like for it to be a community that also helps each other out, because after, like, you graduate, it can be a very isolating experience. So there's that sort of support that you can get from the training and otherwise as well. Um, I think I this is it about the program. Um, I would also like to speak a little bit about, let's say, the fee structure of the program. And again, if there are any questions, please feel free to, um, you know, write it in the chat box. So, since this is a 5 week program, the program is a paid program. It's the cost of the program is 6,000 rupees. But there are multiple options for students that want to enroll. So there are installment options as well. So you can pay the fees in installments, but there is also a scholarship option. So in the Google form, so when Shubham will share the scanner link, you will be redirected to a Google form. So you can write an email to us saying that you want a scholarship option and fill in the Google form as well. And then we'll be having interviews with participants that are interested to join the program. So this is just a little bit about the fee structure. We're quite flexible with regards to when and how you pay the fee as well. So I think this was a little bit about the scholarship and fee structure. Um, yeah, I think I see that there are a lot of questions, but I think that's it from my end. If there's anything that Dipali would like to add or Shubham would like to add, please go ahead.
Dipali.
I think there are a few questions in the chat box. Since they are related to the structure of the program, I might address a few of them, and then Shubham, you can like ask the questions, remaining questions as well. So the program is fully offline. It will be from Monday to Friday, 12 to 6. Uh, in Pune. So if you are from Pune and or if you are like willing to relocate to Pune for the program for a month maybe, then you can definitely join the program. But this year we are not keeping this online. Um, I think Aarti is saying that she has her exams during the month of June. Um, Currently, we are having some flexibility around the dates, but it also depends on how long the exams will be there and how much time um, it might take. So maybe we can discuss about this individually uh, in the interview, maybe if you are willing to join the program.
Yeah, there are few more questions, I think. Is this conducted every year? We are conducting this officially this year, like open for all outside. But speaking from my experience, I've gone through the same training and it's been a year. So I can confidently say that I have gotten exposure to very nuanced concerns and I have been able to skill up my own knowledge around it, and which has helped me uh, elevate my career in itself. So I would urge if you are interested, definitely apply for it. Moog is asking what is the address in Pune. It would be Karve Nagar, the location in Pune, where the trainings will be conducted. Uh, and Dhriti was asking in what language the training would be. Ishita, could you answer that?
Yeah, I'll just quickly answer this question, and then I think someone from MIST has a question. So the training will be conducted mostly in English, but also depending on the participants, if there are any mock sessions that need to be done in regional languages, that's also some regional languages, including Hindi and Marathi, that can also be an option. But the training will be conducted in English itself. Yes, someone from MIST has a question.
Um, Hi Shata, hi Shobham, hi Dipali. Thank you
Hello.
so much for having this session. It was really nice. Uh, I work in MIST as an advocacy coordinator and I also handle the helpline. I have some question relating helpline. First of all, trigger warning. I might mention some things about sexual assault and sexual assault survivors. Uh, So we do receive crisis calls on our helpline, and sometimes these are for HIV testing, these are for PrEP or PEP. And sometimes it happens so that these people who are approaching us have faced sexual assault or abuse, and they are not comfortable talking about it. But let's say they come for HIV testing towards us, and we have to kind of assess whether they have had an exposure to the virus, so that if we have a window period of 72 hours from the exposure, we can provide them with PEP medication, which will kind of prevent HIV infection even if they have come into contact with the virus. But now, as this person who is approaching us, they have faced sexual assault, and they are not very comfortable talking about it. So, how do you, at MCF, kind of like, handle these calls, or how in depth can you question? How do you question these clients and take care of them so that they are not traumatized more, but we also get certain information out of them so that we can provide, like, appropriate care.
Yeah, I think, yeah, thank you for sharing that. I'll maybe add what we do, but Dipali and Shubham, again, if y'all would want to add in some points, please go ahead. I think on Bukta Mental Health Helpline, we also follow a rights-based approach. So when you're saying that, I see that you mentioned the word sexual assault um, a lot, but they're not comfortable, sort of, let's say, taking actions further on than that. I think what we do is that we, of course, provide a safe space and reiterate that. So, and also let them know of their rights and how to proceed with that. But at the end of the day, sort of, if they don't want to take any action around that, even if that also means that there is detriment to health, and but we let them know about that. So we let them know about rights, we let them know about health as well. But at the end of the day, we also really respect the client's agency and choice. So if they choose not to go ahead with that, that's a choice that we respect. And I know as counselors and even individuals that work in this field, you feel a lot for the client and you'd really want to be there for them. But at the end of the day, it's also, again, I keep saying the word choice, but yeah, respecting their choice is something that we follow through. How to not sort of re traumatize them or keep sort of opening that wound up. We also really ask the clients what is it that they would like to speak on the helpline about. Because if assault has happened, sometimes it might not necessarily be that they want to speak about that, but they would like to speak about something else as well. So, as much we would really look for safety of the client. So, safety again would be a priority. So, if they are at a threat with regards to safety, we will prioritize that, of course, collaboratively with the client. But if they are in a safe space but would not like to speak about the emotional and physical hurt that they are going through at the moment, then we respect that, but also create a safe space and let them know that the helpline is always with them and they can reach the helpline at any point and speak to our counselors. I think that's the approach that we've been following on the helpline, if that's helpful. And if you all also want to add any points, please go ahead.
Yeah, I think you answered it very rightly. I just feel that sometimes re-traumatizing could be saved from the angle what kind of questions we are asking. If you go from an investigating angle, then it's going to be a lot for the survivor to speak about. And I feel that the finding comfort in reaching out to you, it's the best thing you can do for them in the first place. So just going with the flow, what they want to do and prioritize is the way forward. We have few minutes left to end the session. So if there are any more questions, people can unmute and just like raise their hand and ask if there are any more. Yeah. Okay, Shita.
But if anyone from the Miss team also, of course, has more questions regarding this, please feel free to reach out to anyone from our team and we'd be happy to have a conversation. There are just two questions that I would like to address before we take Amog's question. So I think one question was also along if this is going to be conducted every year. So absolutely, like Shubha mentioned, that this is our first cohort that we'll be like this is the first cohort, but we will be conducting this every year moving ahead. So the timelines for the program would again be the same for now. If there is a change, of course, that will be communicated via our social media handles. So please also keep in touch with our social media handles for that. But that's one bit about it being a rolling program. So it will happen once a year. And secondly, was that a lot, I think there was one question with regards to if it's going to be offline. I'd like to just mention the reason for it also being offline is that um, this is our first time, of course, conducting it, but we also really believe that the kind of capacity building or training that we offer at Mukta is very sort of in depth, it's very intensive, and it is really hard to replicate that online. So that's the only reason why it is an in person training. We'll, of course, have learnings from this cohort as well, but at the moment, the reason for it being offline is this. And yes, I think Amog had a question.
Hello. Hi, Ishita.
Hello.
Thank you. Yeah, I just had one question that I have already asked, but still in Karvenagar, where can you give me the detailed address? Because I live in Karvenagar, so it would be easy to for me. And the second question is actually, unfortunately, I joined 20 minutes late due to some reasons. So have I not missed anything important?
So I'll answer your question. So with the first question, with it being an exact address, I would suggest that again you reach out on the contact number and fill in the Google form, so that we can have, let's say, a one-on-one conversation, because it's difficult to divulge the address openly right now. But if you're interested, we definitely, of course, want to speak about that. But it is Karvenagar, like Shubham mentioned, but please feel free to reach out to either me or on the email ID that is mentioned, and I can give you a more specific address. With regards to the fact when you mentioned you've joined in later, so some of the session, the agenda for the session was also understanding what helpline counseling is. So I think the first 20 minutes went in understanding how helplines really function and operate and how they're affordable and accessible. That's the ethos of most of our helplines. And then Dipali also got into sort of um, delving into how helpline counseling is also real counseling, how helpline counseling gives a diverse sense of experience, especially for freshers and early career therapists. So I think, yeah, this is how I could summarize it in two, three sentences. Was that helpful, Amok?
Yes, thank you so much.
No.
Yes, Sveta, you can unmute and ask.
First of all, thank you so much for this insightful session. I have always wondered, how does this helpline work? When it's a complete free structure, right? I mean, there is no payment, nobody is paying anything. If anybody of us want to join here as a counselor, or how do you manage finance here? If it is a safe place for you to answer, you can please go ahead.
Um, if I'm understanding your question, you're saying that since the helpline is like a free of cost service, you're saying how is it that the team manages finances? One thing is that so a lot of helplines, all there are, when we were speaking about different kinds of helplines, sometimes helplines also have volunteers, and then helplines have trained professionals. So there's sometimes this differentiation. At Mukta Mental Health Helpline, we hire trained professionals to take calls on the helpline. Hence, even this program really emphasizes on your masters to being completed or for you to give your exams as well. So, since we have trained counselors on the helpline as well, everyone from our team is salaried, so they do get salary every month. If was that your question? Was I able to answer that?
Yes, thank you so much. And also, what about donation? I mean, are you people getting proper donation from all other organizations and people ahead?
Yes, so with regards to donations, there are different types. So donations are targeted differently. We attend a lot of events where we also sell merchandise, but related back to the helpline. So a lot of the merchandise that we create is also so that there is visibility towards mental health, and all the merchandise then also helps us run the helpline as well. So that's one way to get donations. We also have a lot of crowdfunding campaigns that we do, so that helps us sort of get donations as well.
That's amazing. I mean, kudos to all you people and the whole team there. You're doing a great job.
Thank you so much. It means a lot to us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sweta, for such a lovely message. I will definitely communicate to our team. Um, I have put some links in the chat box. If you want to join the program, you can go through it. Donation right now, Sweta mentioned. So anyone who think that you know somebody who can donate for such a cause because you'll be supporting somebody's mental health, so that you can definitely do. You can connect with us on Instagram, WhatsApp. We also have a community sessions going on all every month. We have so far conducted 18 sessions free of cost, which are related to mental health. So you can join those as well. I have put the feedback link for this session as well. The QR is on the slide as well. We would like your feedback on the session for today as well. Sneha, I think you have a question. You can ask.
Texted you regarding OJT that I wanted to. Am I audible?
There is a background noise coming from your side. Is it possible you can type it out, probably, or try speaking again?
Fix the background sounds. Is it better now?
A little bit, yes.
So I had texted you regarding the OJT, like for 60 hours. Uh, so like maybe when can I talk to you about it?
We can speak after the session if that's fine. I think I do have your number, Sneha.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. I think this is it for the session today. I would briefly summarize that we looked at um, like what working with a mental health helpline looks like, how would counselors' role, and how would our um, program will help you in the career ahead. And I just run through the details again. You can scan this QR, or there is a link to join the program. You can think it over. You can give us a call, the number that I have put in the chat, just to get more details on the session program if you have any questions. Once you fill out the form, you will get a message from us, and an interview will be set up if you qualify the eligibility. And yeah, that's about it. There is fee structure is here, 6,000 for 5 weeks, and there is installment and scholarship available depending on everybody's criterias and everything. The dates I will just say again. Last date to apply for the program is 10th of May, so 10 days from now on, and course will begin in the fourth week of May, which is currently 26th of May. Yeah, and I again pitch in, since you already know about our work. So if you know anyone who requires support, you can definitely pitch in our uh, helpline to them. If you are someone who wants to like see how helpline works, like you have never called helpline, you can always give us a call and see it for yourself as well. Yeah, and these are some mediums where you can connect with us. If you have any questions, you can give us a call on the given number. uh, there is a email ID, other social media handles. If you want to join our WhatsApp community, you can scan this QR here. And otherwise, I have put the link in the chat as well. That's it. And I would urge, just please give a feedback for the session. Thank you. It will help us stay on the track of audience need and our motivation to go ahead. I would like to thank Ishita and Dipali for today's insightful details into the career and very relevant examples to everything, real experiences of the helpline. Thank you everyone for joining. If anyone don't have any questions, we will uh, officially conclude today's session. So that there is a message. Thanks to WhatsApp group too. Yes, Sweta, I'll be sending some highlights of today's session with which you'll get the link as well. Thank you, Dhriti. I look forward to your application to our program. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye bye.